You ever work for someone so arrogant, so drunk on power, they actually think they own you? My boss made my life a living hell, so I found the one weakness she never saw coming and I used it right under her nose. Literally. If you've ever dreamed about giving your toxic boss exactly what they deserve, smash that like button right now. Hit subscribe, grab a drink, and lean in, because this revenge is delicious. I'd been at that company for years, long enough to memorize the hum of the cheap fluorescent lights, the squeak of my chair when I leaned back too far, the way the air always smelled faintly of burnt coffee and dry carpet. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. My little office, my routines, my small daily wins until she showed up. Sandra. Sandra was the kind of new boss who didn't walk in, she arrived. Perfect heels clicking on the linoleum, voice dripping with fake sweetness when she introduced herself, then sharpening to a knife's edge once she felt the need to remind everyone why she was in charge. She told us right away that she'd been chosen because she was smarter than anyone else. Those were her exact words, smarter than anyone else. She repeated it at meetings like a mantra, a reminder. But it wasn't just words, it was the way she watched you. Like she was waiting for you to slip up so she could swoop in and prove she knew better. At first, I tried to get on her good side. I mean, I'd been here for years, right? I knew the ins and outs, the shortcuts, the fire drills. I thought maybe I could be useful to her. Big mistake. Sandra didn't want useful. She wanted control. Suddenly, the simplest things I used to handle with my eyes closed, became twisted obstacle courses. She had this obsession with injecting herself into every step. You couldn't send an email without her reading it. Couldn't make a call without looping her in. Couldn't order a box of pens without her asking you 5 questions about why you needed them. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the mind games. She'd withhold information just to watch me squirm. "Oh, didn't you get the memo?" she'd say with a fake pout, knowing full well I was never copied. She'd drop by my office unannounced, stand in the doorway, arms folded, ask me questions she knew the answers to, just to see if I'd flinch under her stare. And if I paused, if I hesitated for even a second, she'd smile like a shark and say, "You should really know this by now." At night, I'd drive home with my knuckles white on the steering wheel, replaying every word, wondering if I was losing it. Then she took it further. No overtime for me, but everyone else. Approved. Bonuses I'd gotten every year. Gone, no explanation. When I asked why, she'd tilt her head and say, "It's just not in the budget this quarter." But the same week, I'd see her handing out gift cards to her little circle of favorites. I started waking up with a pit in my stomach. Work felt like walking into a trap every single day. And worst of all, she loved it. You could see it in her eyes. She fed off it. And then, just when I thought I couldn't hate her more, I saw her weakness. His name was Nate. Our delivery guy. 6 foot something, crooked smile, arms that could lift 5 boxes at once like they were pillows. I'd known Nate for months, harmless flirting in the hallway, stolen smirks when no one was looking. He'd wink at me when he dropped off my packages, and I'd find excuses to sign for things that didn't even need signing. Nothing serious, just fun. But it was ours. One afternoon, I heard Sandra giggling near the loading dock. I peeked around the corner, there she was, twirling her hair, asking Nate if he worked out. I swear she nearly tripped over herself trying to get him to notice her. She'd never looked more human, desperate, even. And Nate. He was polite, but the second her back was turned, he locked eyes with me and raised an eyebrow like, "Can you believe this?" It was the first time in months I'd felt a spark of power. When Sandra started making offhand comments in meetings about how cute the delivery guy was, I knew she was serious. She even made sure she was the one to greet him every time. "Oh, I'll sign for that," she'd chirp, hip jutted out, fake laugh echoing through the hall. But Nate didn't want her. He wanted me. And suddenly, I realized maybe my misery had a silver lining. The plan wasn't instant. It started as harmless fun. We turned our hallway flirting up a notch. He'd stand a little too close, brush my arm by accident, whisper something that made me laugh right where she could see. I swear you could feel Sandra's rage vibrating through the walls. She started giving me side eyes in meetings, pausing when Nate dropped off a package, trying to catch a hint that we were more than we looked. But I kept my face straight. I'd learned from the best, keep them guessing. Then, one night alone in my office, the building echoing with silence, I sent Nate a text. Got the keys tonight. Conference room. You in? His reply came back instantly. On my way. I still remember the slam of my heart against my ribs when he pushed me up against that cold glass door. The thrill wasn't just him, it was knowing where we were. Sandra's precious conference room. Her kingdom. The table she pounded her fists on when she wanted to feel powerful. The same table she sat at, legs crossed, barking orders, pretending she owned me. Not that night. That night, I owned it. I owned her. We didn't stop with just that one time. It became our little ritual, late nights when I knew she'd be gone, lights dimmed, laughter echoing off the cheap drywall. Sometimes we'd leave a paper cup knocked over on the table, or my lipstick barely visible on the edge, small marks she'd never notice, but I would. Every Monday, when she strutted in for the big team meeting, I'd watch her plant herself in that leather chair, right where my bare skin had been pressed the night before. She'd cross her legs, start droning on about synergy or productivity or whatever corporate nonsense she used to hear her own voice. And I'd sit there, biting my tongue to keep from grinning. And oh, the goodies. Representatives would bring pastries to sweeten her up, donuts she didn't deserve, cookies she'd stuff into her mouth mid-sentence. She'd be sitting there, crumbs on her lips, acting like a queen, and the whole time I'd be thinking, if only you knew where you were sitting. If only you knew what happened here. Who was here? It made every fake smile worth it. Did she ever find out? No. She's probably still there, spinning her web, trying to trap the next poor soul. But every time she sits in that room, she's sitting in my revenge. She's perched on a throne she never really owned. And me. I walked away. I found a better job. A better boss. A better life. And every once in a while, when I feel that old anger bubbling up, I smile. Because she'll never know. But I'll always know. Picture this, Sandra, perched at the head of the table, prattling on about efficiency and accountability, crumbs stuck to her lipstick, all while I sit across from her, legs crossed, pretending to take notes, when really, I'm replaying the memory of Nate's hands gripping that same spot on the polished wood just 12 hours earlier. I didn't just get payback. I got peace. And she got exactly what she deserved, even if she never knew it. Petty. Maybe. But sometimes, petty is powerful. And sometimes, the sweetest revenge is the one they never see coming or sit on every Monday morning without a clue. So, what about you? Ever gotten revenge in a way that still makes you smile years later? Drop your best stories in the comments, I'm reading all of them. And hey, if you loved this, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for more tales of sweet, sweet payback. See you next time.